from what I understand of the history, is on August the 21st, 1980. 18 of you met on a Thursday night at Mr. Warren and Miss Bessie's home, which Bessie is your sister. And so was most of those 18 your family? Is that who most of them were, or?
Most of them was elders' family. And my brother and sister West and all their children. Tradition says we have 12 people that will work with you and support you as you go out and start a church. But I had 18 people, and most of them was adults, and so I felt this was it, and it turned out that was it.
So you guys met over on Maple Avenue for, I guess, just a few weeks, and then on, I guess, we celebrate as Anniversary Sunday as close as we can to September the 12th, because that's when you had your first real public service over at the Hunt Springs Community Center, from what I gather.
That's right.
And you traveled out. You remember, so those 18 people started with you, and you guys moved there, and
right. We moved there and started church there. We were in the home, and God was with us and blessed us. But when we went there, it was more like we were in church. Mm-hmm. And God blessed us and worked with us, and we just had a good time there.
But you didn't stay there too awful long. You moved on November the 2nd.
We got this home on Charlotte Avenue, old store building. And God just blessed us, and we just had a great time with the Lord. And I feel like one of the reasons why the church did so well is because I set the rules. I felt like this was going to be God's house, and we were going to worship God. And in it, and everybody, regardless of who they were, if they come there, they would be loved and appreciated. And so we had numbers of people started coming in, so it seemed that we were on the right track.
On the 28th of August in 1982, you moved from Charlotte Avenue out to Greenwood Road in Lemon Springs, and you went from that 18 people over that 2 years to the first quarter at the Greenwood averaging 57 people, and so that had to be an exciting time for you.
It was a very exciting time. It was very exciting that we could purchase this building. And by the way, my son and I rode a bicycle from Sanford to Carolina Beach.
Wow.
And I collected $2,400 for that trip. The conference gave me $2,000, and later Hillview Church gave me $1,000.
So let me pause you. So you rode a bicycle. You and Sammy, your son, rode a bicycle from Sanford to Carolina Beach, and you got pledges like per mile, or?
Yeah, I got people to pledge me so much a mile. They did not know how many miles I would ride. I did not know how many miles that I would ride. But we rode, and we.
How many miles is that?
That's 146 miles and 6/10.
So you raised $2,400, and then the conference gave you $2,000, and then Hillview gave you $1,000. So that's somewhere around, if my math is correct, around $5,400. Is that right? And so that gave you the toehold, so to speak, or?
This gives a toehold, and we had enough to make down payment on it and get it.
So you guys were meeting. The building has a basement on the back of it, and you were meeting in the basement, is that correct? And Sunday schools and all were up top, and then it didn't take long, you were cramped for space again, because it just won't equip to handle 50, 75 people. So you built a new sanctuary. So you moved in that building, if I get my dates right, in 1982. It seemed like every 2 years you were making changes. You started in 1980, and then you had a couple locations, to home, and then to Hunt Springs, and then to Charlotte Avenue. Then 2 years later, you went to this building on Lemon Springs, and then 2 years later, you have to do something else, and so you built a sanctuary.
We did this. We worked in the fellowship hall, and we held services there. And we were thankful and very glad that God had dealt with us and supplied our needs. He said that He would supply our needs in Philippians 4:19, so I believe and I trust God.
So you stepped away from being the senior pastor of Stanley Chapel in 1988 due to health reasons, and but you didn't go anywhere, right? You guys
That's
stayed and continued to work in the church. And after you resigned, John Sauls came, and he came from 1988 till 1993. And in 1993, you had a great looking preacher, right? 1993. I came and I was here. I was 19 years old, 19 or 20, I can't remember, but I was 19 or 20. I guess I was 20 years old, and I was a full head of hair and a red Camaro, and I lived with you guys. Then I came in 1993 and stayed till 1996, and we did really good. We grew. We went to 2 services, and I was way too immature to be leading at that time, and I felt like God had called me away, and so I left got a chance to go mentor under a pastor in Virginia for 8 years, Pastor Jim Wall at a community church there. So I left, and while I was gone, I remember, from what I understand, I might have the dates a little bit mixed up, but in 1997, sometime in 97, the church went a little bit without a pastor between me and then Brother Wayne Ellis came, and he was here for about a year and a half, and he left somewhere around 1999, and then Pastor Michael Boyette came and pastored from 1999 to 2004. And during his leadership is when the church moved from Lemon Springs over to where we are now on the Keller Andrews Road. And so we built the sanctuary and the fellowship hall, and then in 2004, just before he resigned, he led the church to build this multi-purpose building that we now use for the youth and the teens and stuff like that. So, and in 2004, I've come back, and so about 9 years now, going on 9 years. And I remember we did this launch, and even though you were unsure probably and not sure and whatever else, but I remember when we got ready to roll out the vision after 6 months of planning, we were in a back room, the board and I, and we planned and casted. We had this big meeting going to roll it all out, and Brother Earl came to me before, and he said, can I say just a word? And I thought, oh Lord, what's he going to say? And he started the meeting, and I remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, it was in June of 2005, and we started this meeting, and you stood up and you turned around to the congregation, and you said, I just want to let everybody know, I know everything he's about to say, and I'm in favor of it 100%. And then you sat down, and it was...
you thought he wanted to preach, didn't you?
I didn't know what he was going to do, but I tell you what he did in that moment, we could have just said, well, let's all go home. Because, I mean, at that point, what had happened is he validated not just me, not just the board, but he validated Stanley Chapel again. And in a real sense, what it was is saying, we're starting this church over, and I, as the founding pastor, are in favor of starting this church over. And it was, again, it reminded me of the kind of people you are. And I just want to say the reason is that, and it's come through, is because for you, it's never been about legacy. It's never been about style. It's always been about people coming to Christ.
Every time I see somebody saved, somebody join our church, I rejoice, and because I'm thinking, what if I had not been obedient unto God and started Stanley Chapel? I was thinking, where would all these people be? Would they be saved? Would they be in church? Or what would have happened to them?
Yeah, I think I speak for a lot of Lee County. We're extremely grateful you said yes to God, for sure. And I just want to, again, thank you so much and let you know how much I love you. You are rock stars at Stanley Chapel, and when you walk in the room, we're going to always just celebrate you, and we love you so much.
Thank you. God bless.